You want to learn how to smoke a juicy brisket? Well, this is the video for you. Stick around, tune in. So step by step, first step is a nice trim. And you definitely want to start with a nice hunk of meat. If it's your first time smoking a brisket, this is also the video for you, which I'm going to take you step by step on how to smoke a delicious brisket, okay? For beginners, I recommend starting with a brisket anywhere from about 8 to about 10 pounds. It's not too big, it's not too small, but it's definitely going to give you a nice starting point. Now, first step is to really get the brisket as trimmed up as possible. As you can see, I'm starting off with this little fat cap. Now there's two sides to the brisket. There's the flat, and which is going to be to the left of my hand, my left hand, and then you have the point, which is to the right. So you definitely want to know what side is which, because that's very important, which we'll get to later on in the video. Now guys, I don't know about you, but I like to trim my briskets up really good. And I recommend that when you do trim, take your time, because there's a lot of meat under that fat, and you just want to kind of slice through it layer by layer, as you can see I'm doing right now. I'm just kind of taking my time, not really gouging at it, and try to cut it away from your body as much as possible for safety reasons, obviously. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to lose a finger or two. Yeah. Now, trimming the fat off is really important. Number one, your meat isn't going to cook properly if it's not trimmed off. And number two, it's not going to cook properly if it's not trimmed off. So it's pretty much straightforward, you know what I mean? You want that big hunk of meat to just cook as evenly as possible, and having a big layer of fat is going to interfere with that. Now, you definitely want to, get your brisket as even as possible, even on the edges of the brisket. As you can see, I'm gonna trim off a real thin corner of that, because that's just gonna burn off. You really don't want that. Yeah, just like that, boom, nice. And I did it at an angle, We're gonna do that to the other side, because any type of really small pieces just kind of hanging off, those edges are going to burn off. It's going to be completely useless. So don't be afraid to chop off some of that, those kind of loose ends on your brisket. I'm going to trim it up. We're just going to keep trimming up, getting it nice and lean and pristine. I love briskets, everybody. This is kind of like, one of my favorite pieces of meat to barbecue. I barbecue it all. I smoke it all. I smoke anywhere from briskets to ribs, chicken wings, you name it. I love it all, but brisket I gotta say, is definitely my favorite. Let me know what you think. Do you like briskets, or what's your favorite thing to throw on your smoker? You know what I mean? I want to know. Make sure you comment below. And we're just getting rid of all that excess fat. It's kind of lingering there. Next, we're gonna go ahead and start seasoning up this bad boy. I like to we're gonna use a little kosher sea salt. Now notice that I didn't really take off a lot of fat off the back or the bottom of the brisket, so you say. So the reason behind that is that's going to act as a a layer of protection so that brisket doesn't burn and dry out. Because you definitely don't want to trim off all the fat. You just want to trim off the excess and the thick layers of fat. Because you want your brisket to be as juicy and as tender as possible. And having the right amount of fat on your brisket will ensure that your brisket doesn't lose its natural juices when you're throughout the cooking process. I'm just going to keep it real simple with this recipe. I like to keep it real simple. Just coarse sea salt, coarse black ground pepper, and we're going to do a little bit of garlic powder as well. I really don't like to use a bunch of I don't really like to use a lot of rub on my briskets. Number one reason is because if you add too much rub to a brisket, the smoke won't penetrate the meat like how you want it to. And you know, I like a good smoke ring on my brisket. So that's really the only reason why I really don't use a lot of heavy rub on my briskets. I want that smoke to get into that meat as much as possible. So just a little tip there for all you beginners out there. We're going to do the same process as we did on the bottom. We're going to put a little bit of salt. Not too much. You definitely want to see the white flakes. A lot of people might have this confused with am I putting enough? You're definitely putting enough if you can see the white flakes, because the coarse salt is gonna penetrate that beef beautifully. And then we're just gonna add some of that garlic powder. Yeah, nice little coat. Not too little. And then we're gonna go ahead and finish it off with the black pepper. Now, I recommend that you put a little bit more on the top than you do on the bottom. Number one reason is the black pepper is actually gonna give your brisket that bark that you want. It helps with the caramelization of the bark, and it's going to give your brisket that nice, beautiful, dark bark that you want, that you look for in a brisket. All right, now you definitely want to pat those seasons in. Now you don't want to rub it. A lot of people get confused with rubbing. You definitely don't want to rub. You don't want to rub the seasonings off that you just put on there. So I recommend just patting it, giving a nice little pat down all over. Now, another thing that you might notice that I don't season the sides of my brisket. To me, the reason behind that is because I want that smoke to pass over the brisket. I don't want the sides to cook. I want that smoke to just pass right over. So we have the smoker all heated up. It's ready to go. It's hot. And we're going to season it with some Pam seasoning, with some, non-sticking spray. And then you want to go ahead and place your brisket onto the smoker. As I recommend as far away as possible, because this is going to be an overnight cook. So I'm definitely excited of how this is going to turn out. I've never done this before, so this is going to be really fun, and I'm very excited to show you guys how this is going to turn out. I recommend that you put the brisket as far away from the fire as possible. All right, so after 1 hour on the smoker, you see that color starting to take into effect. So I'm going to give it its first spritz with water and apple cider vinegar. that smoke for another hour before I come back and check on it. Second hour in, see how she's looking. We're gonna give it a nice little temperature check. This brisket is cooking a little fast, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. Now this is a wood burning offset grill I'm using, so paying close attention to the temperature as much as possible is crucial for not overcooking this brisket. As you can see, that temperature is starting to go back down a little bit. Definitely don't want it to cook too fast. 165 is the temperature I'm looking for. All right, so about 5 hours now into the cook, and wow, I gotta say, she's looking amazing. Let's go ahead and check that temperature and see where we at right now. 169, okay. So this brisket is done. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and pull her off and wrap it up in butcher paper and throw it back on there for another 30 minutes to an hour. Now, I'm a big fan of beef tallow, and today this is exactly what we're gonna use. I like to cook my beef tallow already down and render it down before I pour it on. I've done it the other way around, where I just kind of spread it on the butcher paper and let it cook down on the smoker. But I found out this way works a lot better. And what this does is this puts the juices back into the brisket. We're gonna go ahead and wrap it on up. As you can see, nice and tight. Fat side down, same as before. And we're gonna let that cook for another 30 minutes to an hour and see what we got. Let's go. All right, as you can see, it's the following morning, nice and bright. Let's see what we got. There you have it. Oh, wow. Nice, juicy, beautiful brisket. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this video helped you on your journey to making the best barbecue you can. Follow me for more videos and more how-to videos on BenzoBBQ.
what it looks like to be painted red. As you can see the times and the temps we've been rolling them, so this is the aftermath.